I'm changing this up. The images are changing. Learning and growing on how to do video editing. Sort of. I know how to change photos now on the cover of OBS now. That's what I learned. That's what I've learned in like 3 days. What is up, you beautiful bastards? I'm Chris from Circle of Geekdom, and you learn a lot about your own hand gestures doing these videos a lot more. Like I do a lot of pointing and a lot of this and this and I do weird faces now, and they always come up as the covers of my YouTube videos, and it is super weird, but whatever. And I should edit this part out. Not gonna, because I don't know how, and I'm not gonna start over. So, great intro. So yeah, I know Final Fantasy Week was last week, but I had just such a cool moment while playing the game that I feel like it warrants a conversation. So before I kind of go into it, this is going to be, I would like to say, minor spoilers of Shadowbringers. It doesn't reveal major plot points. It doesn't reveal any major character arcs or character development for it. For me, this was just a very, very cool moment that kind of reminds me, A, why I played this game so much, and two, like, B, like, it does show just the amount of depth and care that has gone into this expansion pack, so much so that I'm willing to already kind of call it as my game of the year. So, and it's basically this moment has kind of solidified it for me. The game has to get extraordinarily bad for me to change my mind at this point for it. And again, if you listen to the podcast before or previous videos or anything like that, I have made it very clear that I've kind of already reserved that Game of the Year kind of title for Shadowbringers. And like, I'm the first to admit, like, if something better comes along, I'll change my mind on it. But I don't really see that happening because, again, this moment was so critical. And just in terms of like my emotional reaction to the title and kind of solidified feelings I already kind of had for the game. See, this is the kind of thing I'm noticing. Like, I'm doing a lot of this. But yeah, it's about, I would say realistically, about maybe under 10 hours into the game, but over 5. And it kind of depends. If you've already done the Alpha Node quest line and then went to go see Alizé right in the beginning of the story, then it would be around that point, or maybe sooner if you do Alizé first. But essentially, it's the Alizé quest line to get her to join the Crystal Exalt, and basically like really kind of kickstart who the major villains are in the game, learning more about the Sin Eaters, things like that. And you end up running into this woman named Tesleen. And actually, I'm going to check that name real quick just because I want to make sure I say that correctly. And I believe so. Just scroll through like 6,000 screenshots in order to find the right one here. But essentially, when you get to the Alizé territory, the questline for that is you end up running into Tesleen. Yeah, you run into her basically kind of being like the bodyguard for this, for lack of a term, a hospice center. People can get infected with the light and eventually become a Sin Eater. And before they fully go through the transformation, the victims are poisoned with their favorite foods, not to be cruel, but just to prevent them from turning into a Sin Eater. And it's better to give them one last moment of joy, their favorite meal, than to have them go through the pain and frustration and anger and just horror of becoming a Sin Eater. And one of the people you run into is Tesleen, who talks about when her mother got infected and just the kind of the heartbreak, but then trying to find the joy and trying to help other people have one last moment of peace and joy before passing away. And one of the kids that you run into gets infected, and you can tell this kid is fucked. He is way into the infection. And he disappears. You go find him, and you see one of the larger Sin Eaters, the more powerful ones, about to stab the kid. Tesleen jumps in front of him, slices a wing off, and it looks like it saves the day. It looks like, okay, everything's going to be fine, except that Sin Eater then stabs Tesleen, and you just see her die. And it is extraordinarily powerful, emotional, like, just shocking. And this isn't like a main character who's with you for hours at this point. This is somebody you've met for like collectively maybe 20 minutes, and you're just that invested in this character already because again she shared a little bit about herself. And before she passed away, she puts her hand on the infected boy's face and saying like, basically says some nice parting words. And you would kind of hope at that point that she just passes away and just it's a sad moment, but it just kind of ends. But then it doesn't. Then she actually becomes a Sin Eater right in front of your character, the Warrior of Light, in my case, Vanispheres, and Alizé, because they weren't fast enough in time to stop the Sin Eater from killing Tesleen. And you watch the transformation. You don't see all of it, thank God, but you do see just this range of emotions of just pain and anguish and suffering in this NPC that if you watch the stream of me experiencing that, I'm just completely shocked, and I do not ever like make faces or make comments or anything like that to try to like increase shock value. Like, have you ever seen like unboxing videos or reaction videos of somebody and you can clearly tell they're bullshitting you because they're just they want to create that reaction? I did not. That was me being absolutely genuine and just really having my heart broken to see this NPC who was trying to do something good died, and instead of getting that peaceful ending, as peaceful as you can have getting stabbed through the chest, you see the anguish for turning into a Sin Eater, and it's terrifying to look at. It looks like it's an extraordinarily painful process, and she flies away, and then you see Alizé just break down in tears, and you see the Warrior of Light just kind of in anger and shock. And it's a very heartbreaking moment, and it's just so much of a testament to how good this game is that it made you care for essentially just a random NPC that you just, again, you see a couple times they die, and like there's a scene earlier during the Alpha Node story where again somebody else befalls some tragedy, and it sucks. Like you're like, oh no, not that guy. But this one hurts harder because again of the pain, and they use kind of the same technology they used with the Hildebrand quests, in that they do stretch the face out into much more what looks to be a little bit more unnatural. And whereas Hildebrand is done for comedic relief, this is done more with horror and pain, and it's just astounding. The just amount of drama they put into this, an absolute testament to the quality of the game, the amount of effort the developers put into this, and why this is my favorite Final Fantasy installment. Like, it's just amazing. And they've done something that I personally have never experienced as a gamer, which was I now had an emotional negative reaction to not a particular villain, but the troops themselves. So the best way to kind of describe it is like when you watch the Avengers, you feel really nothing when the Chitauri are getting slaughtered. Like, yes, they're doing a bunch of bad stuff, but you're not like, you don't hate them for what they did. Or you never hate Goombas or Koopa Troopas. And even like in Final Fantasy games, the Empire or Shinra, like there's enemies that you personally, maybe you're like, oh, you're the villain, I'm gonna go after you. But you never really hate like a Shinra soldier, or you don't really hate like a monster out in the field, because again, it's just a random creature. But knowing what the Sin Eaters do to the people in this shard, the first shard, and just the amount of pain that they cause, like in that moment, watching her transition into becoming a Sin Eater gave me a genuine reaction. Like, I want to get rid of the Sin Eaters in this game because they are causing this much pain and anguish. Again, any other soldier, any other enemy type I've ever encountered, I don't have that same emotional reaction to. I may enjoy the combat, I may enjoy fighting them or watching their animations or something like that. There may be an aspect of it I appreciate more on a technical level, but this is the first time, like, again, a troop, or like a soldier essentially, gave me that emotional reaction for it. And that's just fantastic to me. Like, again, it's never ever happened, and I think it's worth the conversation, and worth reemphasizing just how goddamn amazing this game really, really is. And again, why I'm considering this right now to be my game of the year, because like in the few hours I've played of it, like I've had so many reactions and so many like emotional moments. Like I'm being honest, I damn near cried when Telseen died. which again does not happen like to me. I do not get emotional over NPCs. Like I will if it's something like Alpha Note or Alizé or Oriange or Thancred or Minfield, any like the major plot characters. If something bad happened to them, yeah, I'm gonna get a reaction to that. But if it's gonna be like somebody you've encountered like twice, not really. That's not really how I'm gonna react. I don't get that emotionally invested in like random villager number 12, but yeah, this time it did. It really did. It got me in the soul right there. So again, like if you are on the fence whether to play Final Fantasy, like I said, this is not a major spoiler point. This is not anything that would like break the game at all. Or now that you know this, now the rest of the story is ruined for you. It is just a very cool moment in the game. Cool in the sense of just absolutely well done and well orchestrated, but also extremely heartbreaking and extremely emotional too. And it makes me want to go back and play the game right now. Like as soon as I record and upload this to YouTube, I'm going back into the Ultros server and I'm going to be playing. So character information for me is going to be down below too if you want to jump in and say hi. But with that, let me know your favorite thoughts so far. What do you think of Shadowbringers? Your favorite Final Fantasy moments? Favorite anything about this franchise, about this game? Anything? Yeah, like I said, right now, game of the year, Shadowbringers. Play it, love it. It is absolutely a piece of art, and I cannot wait to get my collector's edition in the mail, which is apparently going to be Tuesday. So stay tuned for that unboxing video. Stay tuned for more videos, social media stuff down below as well. Until next time, I tip my hat to you as only a Mandeville man can. Thank you all very much, and I will catch you all next time.